Wait, and we're back. Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 67? Is it 67? Actually, should have checked this before I did this. 67! It is 67. Welcome to that. So yes, chapter 67. We are on the way to the gym currently. I am a little tired, a little bit wired. Today it is the first day of the week, aka the Vulcan Raven workout. Looking forward to it. My upper body feels good. Got the 3 days off this weekend. It was a tough weekend though. Lots of stuff going on. We'll talk about it some other video. But today I do not want to talk about that because it is not fun. But anyways, this day actually we're going stemming off video that's coming out today, which is with the experimentation side of stuff. I'm gonna actually add a exercise today. I'm just gonna do body weight. I don't know if I'll record it. That'll be a wait and see type deal. But also we got the old camera back, thankfully. It's fixed, back to the old setup. Thank God. That makes my life easier when editing, honestly. Picture quality is slightly higher as well. So, you know, everything about this camera is very nice in comparison to using my phone. I'll be able to actually read in between sets as well again more frequently. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, besides that, today we're going to be talking about, well, you've already read the title. Why am I even saying it like that? So today's subject matter to go on patience. The reason why this is even coming up is because when I was talking in this video that's coming out today, which should be this one right here called experimentation, I briefly touch about the entire idea of patience and how you have to kind of wait for things and results to happen and stuff. And I wanted to talk more about that here because I was thinking about it more and more, and like how patience is such a often forgotten thing, especially now in social media days where short form content is starting to become king all around, and it is starting to get to the point where if a video is like more than a minute and a half, it is like, why am I watching this, you know? And that is not good. I personally am not like that. I'm a huge fan of like hour to 2 hour long videos. I like listening to long things. Long form content is fine with me. Even like a 10-minute is fine with me as long as it is satisfying with enough knowledge, you know what I mean? There is a point where I would hate watching a 10-minute video that's like dragged out 10 minutes. That used to happen a lot on YouTube, which was super annoying because then you'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna watch it on like 2-speed or whatever the fuck. And we'll talk about that on the voiceover because I have nothing against 2-speed, but I don't do it personally. But anyways, to get back to patience, the reason why I brought it up and was just thinking about it last night while I was doing the voiceover for the other video, I was like, I should probably talk about patience in general because it is something that a lot of people don't have nowadays, and also it is something that you can actually practice, which I'll talk about later, which a lot of people don't realize that they can practice it. It's like a muscle. You can kind of like get used to it over and over again. You just have to be willing to wait, really. And there is caveat, the one offshoot about waiting and or having patience, which is the thing that I think a lot of people forget, and that while you can be patient, there is a point where the patience is too much and then you start becoming inactive, and then that's an issue. But if you don't get to that point, then you're fine. But there are points where you can be too patient, where you're too inactive, and then life just kind of rolls by you and stuff. You aren't proactive enough to actually do what you're supposed to be doing. There actually is a lot of that, honestly, where it's like you're so patient that you're not active enough, and that's not good. There are moments to strike, and you have to figure that out. That's a feel thing. It all just depends. For me, the reason this was also brought up is because I'm going to add a couple of exercises, which I will go over when they come up in the video, and then I'll probably even make a whole video about them, and maybe like a month when I see how they've affected me. So I plan on adding, I think I'm going to add 3 new exercises. I'm going to replace 1. That's going to be that. I think it's 3. Yeah, I'm adding 3, and then 2 of them are filling up slots, and then 1 of them is going to replace something else. We're going to have to wait and see. I might even add some more, actually, thinking about it. But that's just because I have some more implements coming in soon, which I will go over whenever I get them. So patience in general, I just wanted to say, was something that I have learned to grow throughout in my entire lifehood. I am very well versed in the art of holding on and waiting until the right moment to strike. I am also the type of person that will sit there and do whatever is necessary for as long as it's necessary until the task is done. So for example, just to give you an idea of just like a story that I like to tell a lot, lot because it just shows like, all right, when I was going to Japan before that, a month before, you had to buy, there is a window in which you can buy tickets to go to the Ghibli Museum. But the thing is that it's only at a specific time, and they only open this time frame a month in advance. So if you don't get it within that month in advance, you're basically SOL. So that day comes. It is, I think, like midnight here, or no, it's like 10 p.m. here. So like 10 a.m. over there is when it opens. Immediately go on the website crashes. I sit there. My wife gave up after like 15 minutes because the website was just like crashing and or we would not be able to get through. I sat there for about an hour just trying to get onto the website. And then I finally did. I took my time and I was like, all right, I got nothing else to do. Why not? Fuck it. And obviously, like, I ended up getting the tickets and it was a great time. I would recommend the Ghibli Museum if you ever go. It's amazing. It's great. 10 out of 10. The thing about it is that I'm willing to sit there and wait it out if I have to. I don't really care about the time wasted or whatever the hell you want to add, or the impatience of, it's not going to work. That is something that I feel like you have to train yourself out of, and then you train yourself into the entire, like, waiting idea. There's probably something to do with as well. There's some meditating on the other side of it as well. That'll probably be a different episode. But patience is something that a lot of people don't have. And you got to understand that if you don't have it, make sure you find a partner that does. Because if both of you don't have it, you're going to have a lot of issues with having to deal with a bunch of shit. Or if not, just grow it on your own as a muscle. Like I said, it is something that you can train within you. It's something that I've trained before where I'm just like, all right, let's just see how long I can go doing X, Y, or Z with no like real either result or like immediate result, or just waiting. I'm willing to do a lot of that just because I know that if I do that, I can equate it to other things, you know? That's what it is. And I think I'll go over a little bit more about that in a little bit. But for now, I just wanted to say that patience, you should have some. But with that being said, I will see you on the inside.
Alright, so on this day, start off with dips. Dips were pretty good, felt pretty good. You can see it's a dreary day. I really did enjoy having the camera back because it made reading in between sets way easier, and that's how I roll. So before I start anywhere, I want to say this. Watching videos at 2x speed is a fine thing. I'm not going to shit on you if you watch videos at 2x speed. I know my brother does it. I know a bunch of people who do it. I occasionally do it sometimes. I try not to, but that's just because I like to just watch the video at normal speed. I feel like sometimes when it's 2 speed, I don't get as much information as I should. Most of the time, it's not any of the person who's talking's fault. It's just sometimes I just can't follow it at 2 speed, and or I'm not getting enough of the input from the video, so I just decided to watch it at 1 speed. Regular speed, I should say. 1.5 speed occasionally. Like I said, it depends on the person who's talking, the cadence, what the information is that I'm trying to get out of it and stuff. But there's nothing wrong with, if you want to watch videos on 2 speed, that's all gravy to me. That's all fine. To go back to the main subject about patience. Now, patience you can think of as a muscle. So there is something to be said about watching videos with some patience. So having some sort of relaxation and or watching them in a way where you don't go through them as quickly as humanly possible, like at 2 speed or 3 speed or whatever the speed you want to watch, or skipping through it. It's something about sitting there and making sure you watch it. Of course, it depends on who you're watching and making sure that you're not wasting your time, or, you know, because there are certain influencers, I'm not going to name names here, but they will try to gouge your time out and try to like squeeze every last second of the time that you have there. So there are those that do that. When it comes down to it, you can think of patience as a muscle. So you want to grow it, but you want to do things in order to grow it slowly and reach your limits to it and then just slowly back away. You know, there are things that can help you a lot with that. Personally, gamifying it, you know, playing the how long can I deal with X or Y or Z can kind of help. I've done that before. That has helped me set new PRs and timing on whether or not I'm going to keep something going. You know, I like having that fun stuff with it. And then with that, you also grow strategies as to what you can do in order to continue the patience, you know, just the waiting game, the entire idea of holding on for as long as you can, or whatever you may need to practice it on, you know, whether it's like something along the lines of a certain certain people in your life that you have to listen to, that you don't want to listen to, or anything like that. You can practice that a lot. There are ways to do that. Personally, one thing I have found is meditation has helped a lot. I have found that is an immense strategy in patience, because I can just sit there and be with my thoughts alone in silence and just focusing on my breathing and stuff. We will be doing the meditation video some other day, but I just wanted to mention that because it does help and goes hand in hand with patience. It is something that I would recommend and also helps a lot with that. Now, there is something to be said. This is something about the downsides of patience. There's two. Basically, the first one is the sunken cost fallacy. So you got to be careful about the entire idea of I've wasted or I've used a lot of my time on this, I better keep going. A lot of this, you see this happen a lot in relationships. I've been in a relationship for 5 years. Why am I going to give up those 5 years? Those 5 years are 5 years wasted. You can't really think of things like that, mostly because it's going to ruin your patience a lot of the time. And you have to understand that there is a moment where you do have to strike. That is the second part of it. That's the downside of it. You have to know when you shit or get off the pot, basically. You have to know when to do whatever you're waiting for is not worth it and move on, and not be worried about the fact that you might have lost some time or whatever. Because most of the time, the time lost, quote unquote, is just a lesson to be learned, and or just would have been used in a completely different way that probably would have been the same, more likely than not. A lot of people end up thinking that, like, let's go back to the relationship thing, like these 5 years with the relationship with someone and it didn't work out, I'm just gonna keep going even though I don't like it. It's like, no, you had good times, you had bad times, but now you realize that it's just not worth keeping going. You're not in love anymore, or whatever reasons you are, and to trudge along in something like that is not worth it at all. But you can't think of it as it's wasted time, because once you think it's wasted time, then you've screwed yourself. You've instantly made all of that time worth less, even though it's not worth less, because you've grown and changed as a person. So that is something that you have to be careful about. And you don't want to be too patient where people can walk all over you. Don't be left with your dick in your hand is what I would like to think of it as. You got to be careful about that too, where if you don't make yourself known, if you don't make your strike in whatever you're doing and or your limit known to other people and or things like that, you're going to get walked all over, and or people will see you as inactive, and that is not a good trait that you have to be very careful about doing, because there are a lot of people who will sit on their hands for a long time and just do nothing about it. And you got to be very careful about being one of those people, because that can affect your life greatly. It's like the people who sit there and see their life pass before their eyes and they don't even realize that they have done absolutely nothing to influence their own life. So you have to be very careful about that. It's a double-edged sword, but it is a healthy and careful balance that you have to strike when it comes to patience. But I recommend most people have some type of patience, because it can help in multitudes of scenarios. Anywhere from as simple things to complex things. A little bit of patience can go a long way. And if you don't have any, get a partner that does, because that will help out a lot.
Hold it. Okay, and we're back. Hello and welcome to the workout debriefing. It is, why do I keep doing it as if I'm doing it in an intro? What the fuck? All right, anyways, exercise is not filmed. None. Exercise is skipped. One, which is the new thing I was gonna do, which is annoying. But that was mostly my fault. I didn't add it to the spreadsheet, so I forgot to do it. And I was going to do it as a superset with the lateral raises. So I completely forgot to do it. So that's fun, but I plan on doing them on Thursday as well, as they are gonna be twice a week. I'm going to add them, as well as another new thing, which I will add to the spreadsheet later today. But that was my fault. I was not realizing that I had to do it, and then I just was like, oh, right. I remembered as I was walking downstairs, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm a patient man, but I'm tired. There are points and limits to where you can just say, all right, fuck it, I'm going home. And right now I've reached my wit's end. It's almost time for me to eat. So it is way later than I normally come home, so I need to go home and do a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, all right, even though I am a patient man, I can wait, I can go do shit. There's a point where it's like, all right, I have to weigh out my options here and truly truly see, is it worth going back to record this, what is it, 2 sets of this one exercise, or just wait to do it on Thursday. So decided on waiting to do it on Thursday, especially since I need to go home and do a bunch of shit. But anyways, with that being said, speaking about patience and all that other jazz, I think it's something that you can train, you can get better at. You don't have to be stuck in a impatient mindset like most people feel like they are. Also, there are things that you can do habits wise to get the fuck out of it, you know what I mean? Like, for example, stop watching so many shorts content and or short form content, or that satisfyingly dopamine inducing content that will be there to try to keep your attention as quickly and as fast as humanly possible. That's one small way you can do it. There's a bunch of other things you can do, which I hopefully have talked about in the voiceover. But for now, I just want to say that you can be a patient person. You can definitely grow it, and or if not, just figure out what your limits are, so then that way, you know, you don't blow a gasket at things, you know, all the time, because that's always the tough part, is being calm, cool, and collected, but then all of a sudden, like, boom, all of a sudden an explosion, you know? You gotta let it out, air it out, so then that way it's not all an explosion at once. You may be a patient person, but you are not a dummy. You're not gonna let people run you over, so you have to, your thoughts are known to the others, and not being expressive is not good. With that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. I am back onto the groove of things. It is a long road ahead. It is April officially, so I'm trying to get in the swing of uploading every day, including shorts and all that other jazz. I'm really gonna get into that. But besides that, thank you very much for watching. Tell me in the comments what you think about patience and or in general, just the entire idea. I've probably talked about weakness and inaction as well, because that is part of the patience arc, I guess. But please let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to know. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.